I've been gardening now for a few years, couple of years, and there are some things that I've come to like. One is I like earthen beds and wicking beds. Earthen bed is basically a wicking bed with water that flows underneath of the soil. I like airlift pumps, and so I've combined these two in order to create my perfect garden. The problem I had, though, is the cost. I've been using IBCs, and I've been making wooden boxes with uh, fiberglass wooden boxes in order to create my grow beds. Well, a 4x4 area ends up costing me like $60 at least. So my idea came back to using EPDM. So if this were a trench in the ground, and it was lined with an EPDM pond liner, that would create a fairly inexpensive tank. Say about $100 would easily do a couple of 16-foot grow beds. Say the beds could be like 3 feet wide and 16 feet long. And I go about 20 inches deep because what I like to do is put about 4 inches of rock, or my water level would be at 4 inches. My rock is at 6 inches, and then I've got, say, another foot of nice soil, a combination of sand, clay, and garden soil. Okay, so this reduces the cost. But since I like to use airlift pumps rather than mechanical pumps, which in my opinion break down and cause a lot of trouble, airlift pumps to me are easier to maintain, and basically they cost a lot less. So that being said, what I have to do is I have to get some depth in order to make my airlift pump work. Well, this is an EPDM liner. How am I going to get the depth? Well, this is my answer to that. And Paul Vanderhorn actually gave me this idea. So take a piece of 6-inch PVC, put a cap on the bottom of it, run it up through a hole that's cut just slightly larger than 6 inches, and run it up the side of the pipe a little bit so that you can clamp it with a stainless steel clamp. Now you've got a nice watertight seal. You've got your depth for your airlift pump. Put your air down to the bottom here. Let it flow into a cistern here, which could be made out of say a 55-gallon drum, a plastic one. And it would circulate back through here and then drain back into the grow bed, which let me see, I can show you this. I would run the inlet pipe all the way down to the end so that pardon me, get this in perspective here. So that the intake comes from this other end and flows out and then goes all the way down and flows back, creating a nice flow through the rock. And you use a 2-inch drain rock. Seems to be a good rock to create this area for the water. And this area right here is basically rock and air. This is the water level down here, and the water wicks up the rock, passes through the membrane that you could use either drain field cloth or shade cloth, something like that, to separate this area, and then it wicks up into this soil and keeps it at a very, very nice moisture level. So then you might be asking, well, why do you even need the cistern here? Why not just circulate the water through the grow bed? I would want a cistern here because first off, you can see your water level. If it needs more water, you would be able to visually see that. If it's dipping down below this intake pipe, then you know you'd have to add some water to the system. It's also a good place to add your nutrients. You can either connect to this, say, an aquaculture tank, and circulate the water from fish. Or in my case, I prefer not to use fish. I like to use bioponics, so I can add my my urine or my weed tea, whatever kind of nutrients I'm adding to the system can be put into the cistern from the top. So that's about all I can think to say on this right now. I'd like to hear your comments. Maybe you could come up with some further ideas and improve upon this design.